Hello everyone, welcome to Minor Incidents, episode 32, covering Major Crimes, season 3, episode 13, entitled Acting Out. This might be my favorite episode of the entire season.
Yes.
On the crime side of this episode, we have this dude who's like a child star, but he fell on hard times and turned to drugs and like all this other stuff. His comeback was going to be this little independent movie written by this woman about how she was able to clean her life up, but he kept messing up his takes and dicking around this entire production. He tells this story in one of the last takes that he was able to do. And it's about him trying to clean himself up, and he shot this guy in the head because it was a drug deal going wrong, and he hides this crucifix and gun up in the vent above him. Like, the dude goes, I don't really know why he was going. Was he going to score drugs, or did we find out what it was?
I don't remember. If they told us, I don't remember.
But anyway, he got to this, like, back alley kind of thing.
Were they trying to set him up, make it look like he was buying drugs?
I think so. And this guy named Crazy Diego came and beat the crap out of him. We come to find out that it was actually the driver who had killed this dude. The actor was telling the stories that the driver had told him, and it was like the driver was gonna die because of this. He killed somebody who was in the Spanish mob or whatever.
In like 1998.
Yeah, 1998. On the personal front, we have Andy's daughter come in. Nicole, her last name, something like super plain. Abbott. There we go. Nicole Abbott. Nicole Flynn Abbott.
Where's Costello?
Comes to Major Crimes to talk to Sharon. Well, Andy doesn't know she's there to talk to Sharon. He thinks she's just there just to be there, just see her dad. We all know that Nicole has the wrong impression about this whole Sharon-Andy business, because Andy has said that he has let her believe that he and Sharon are dating. He's like freaking out because he finally finds out that she's there to see Sharon and not him. Sharon, they're like doing their case stuff, and then finally she's able to get Nicole into her office to talk one-on-one with her. Nicole tells her that her and her husband started out working together, and now she was his boss, and she wanted relationship advice on how she was able to keep the romance alive by being her boyfriend's boss.
Husband.
Well, she said husband, but she was implying Andy and Sharon when she said it.
Shut your face.
So Sharon immediately goes, what? And like starts mentally freaking out. You could see it. You could see it on her face, in the air. You could just see it everywhere.
A lot of panic and tension.
And then there was just little bits and pieces with Andy, and Andy's trying to talk to her, and she's like, goodbye. Like, bye, Andy. Like, go away. And then she finally tells him we should meet at my apartment before we go to the Nutcracker, because Nicole invites them all, including Rusty and Sharon, as a family, to the Nutcracker, because her stepsons are in the production.
Doesn't she have...
No, she doesn't have any kids.
Oh, she doesn't have kids.
That's in my fanfic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Sharon, Andy, Nicole, and Rusty, like, getting ready to go. And Sharon, you know, kind of nudges Andy to tell her what's up, tell her what's going on. So Andy starts to tell her, but he keeps implying that he doesn't want to tell, like, he wants her to keep thinking that.
He's like, kind of.
He's like, kind of. We're not in a relationship, kind of. On and on and on. And Sharon's just, you could see it on her face, like, are you shitting me right now? Like, just... and tell her. And then Rusty finally comes in, he's like, okay, can I ask you a few questions just so we can clarify things? And Sharon's like, go right ahead. And then Rusty goes through a series of questions saying, do you guys go out to dinner a couple times a week? And they're like, yeah. And occasionally. And then he says, do you guys go to the movies? And they go, occasionally. And then he says, did you guys go to the Dodgers game back a few months ago? Yes. Did you guys go to the Japanese War Memorial thing? Yes. Like, just one after another. And then he's like, well, you know, they're not dating. Like, according to them, they're not dating. But they don't know about it.
They don't even know they're dating.
They don't know they're dating. So they finally, like, as they're leaving, Nicole gets the idea that, like, yeah, they're kind of dating. They just don't know they're dating. And they are walking out, and Sharon and Rusty are the last ones to leave. And Sharon says, we're not dating. And Rusty says, a few times a week. And then they leave. And I'm like...
Shut your face.
Oh, God. This episode was so good, though.
So funny.
What did we like about this episode?
All of it?
All of it.
I don't think there's a part I liked more.
There's no parts.
Personal front I definitely liked more than the crime front because obvious reasons, but it was Sharon's awkwardness
Was so
and the way
good.
Mary brought the hilarity to it was awesome.
I love it when they let Mary show that side
That she's
of her.
actually funny.
She is hilarious. She's a hilarious person, just genuinely hilarious. And I love when they allow her to just go with it, because you can totally see it on her face. It's really
She looked like she was trying not to laugh the entire episode.
Do you blame her? It was funny.
It was funny.
I like the part when she's trying to explain to Rusty. Rusty's like, I don't really have to go to the Nutcracker. And she's like, please, like, I really need you to look out for me. That she needs a buffer, but she doesn't want to call it a buffer. You gotta remember, she hasn't dated in like 20 some odd years.
So that's why I said they probably
dated.
They are so old, and it's been so long since either of them probably dated anyone. They don't even realize they're dating when they actually are dating. And I can't believe I'm saying this as I'm saying it. They're dating. Shut your face.
But she is Rusty, and Rusty's like, yeah, I'll go as a buffer for you. You know, I'll help you out. And then she starts humming the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
What's it? It's called something though.
It's like March of the
Soldiers. March of the Tin Soldiers. Something like that. And she's just going, bop, 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 bop. And we're just like, oh.
And she gets really into it. And Rusty's like that. And she's like, no.
No.
But if they ever need anyone,
we know who to call. I just want an entire production that's just bop,
I
bop,
want
bop.
outtakes for this.
This season's DVD.
It needs
better
outtakes.
have outtakes.
Because that's why you buy it. For the bloopers.
Yeah.
And I want bloopers for her doing that. Because you know she messed it up.
And I want them to be
5
twice
10
as
times.
long. Because we didn't get any last season. So.
Yeah. So.
When Nicole says that they were only given a certain number of tickets. And like implies to Provenza. Sorry I couldn't invite you kind of thing. Provenza said.
I've been married 5 times, so I'm very familiar with the Nutcracker.
And then he does like a ballet move walking out of the room. I love him so much. I love Provenza so much.
Oh, you want to marry
And if
him.
Patrice and him don't work out, okay, he got my number. He does. I slipped it in his pocket up front. Okay, what did we not like about this episode? There's nothing I didn't like.
I can't find anything.
I didn't like how they were able to solve who did this. Like, they knew who did it.
By the money.
They figured out who it was because Jamie, who was the guy who got killed, had won, like, the $5 Friday, which is where they all put their name on the $5 bill and put it in a bowl, and then whoever picked out, you know, the name, that's who got all the money. Well, Jamie, who was the pain in the ass who was killed, was the one who won, and that gave it to his driver. The driver was the one who ended up making everything happen and killing him and Crazy Diego and killed the kid back in 98. Well, that's how they found out. Psych said, oh, we need $5 to validate your parking so you don't pay $15 when you get down there. And he pulls out the $5 bill with the name on it. And it was like, really? Like, that's going to be the thing that gets him? Really? Kind of it. That was the only thing I didn't like. And that was reaching. I mean, reaching for me because I liked this episode so much. Everybody was just on point. The hilarity was there.
Like, all right, how do we solve this crime?
I was like, oh shit, we forgot to put in how they solve it.
We're so concentrated on the phone.
Oh, that's right, they did those $5 bills. Oh shit, okay, done. What are you rating this episode?
I'm rating it a 10,000.
10,001, please. I loved it. I just loved everything about this episode. What are we predicting for next episode?
Jack's back.
Jack is back. And remember, they're divorced now. That was finalized. So he's back. He's back as a lawyer to somebody, which is what we heard was going to be happening. He was coming back in a different capacity and going to be a pain in her ass in a whole different way. I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
It's going to be hilarious.
And Sharon's on at the crime scene next week. Also excited about that. Next week we've got Minor Incidents episode 33 covering Major Crimes season 3 episode 14 entitled Trial by Fire. I'm hella excited for it. They need a Jack attack, so
your boy's coming back. Randy Jackson.
I hate you this much.
I get confused sometimes.
It's okay, it happens.
More times than I should.
More times than you should, yeah. Who do I call about that?
Ghostbusters.
Thank you.
Blurns down. You don't want the house to blurn down? I kind of want to watch it again.
I know, it was that good.
When I get cable again. I want to watch it again. They're divorced now. That was finalized.
I can't even describe it. It just looks fabulous, but like very comfortably fabulous. That's not even a word.
Very comfortably flabulous.
No, that's not. It's gonna be my obituary picture. A loving memory.
I'm drooling and crying at the same time.
It's a normal Saturday for you.
Don't make it look like I'm the one that's fucking up right now. Oh god.
I don't have to make it
Hurry
look
up
like
before
anything.
I cry all my concealer off. You see my dark circles under my eyes.
Cried out for you.
Are you ignoring me?
Every day in my life.